Oh boy. So for anyone that lives under a rock, we held one of the biggest server tests ever in Isle history. We hosted a server with 500 players in real time on the Isle. Obviously, the Isle was never developed or intended to have 500 players on one server, but we wanted to test our new server box hardware because we have some new incredibly powerful servers at Isla Nicta. We're actually in the process of transferring the servers. These new server boxes are capable of so much more than any server I know of on the planet currently, provided by any host provider. So we're really, really proud of the tech and hardware that went into these. They were really expensive. So basically, we broke the Isle. And I have a lot of Recode stuff to show you guys that I want to show you, and I will be showing you in a second. However, I'm also sure you're curious to find out what happens to the Isle when you have 500 plus players on the same server at the same time. Now, I do want to iterate again. The game was never intended for 500 players in a single session. I also want to let you guys know again that the game was never intended to host this many players. Therefore, the player numbers on the tab list are actually very incorrect. They cycle around. So if you hit 255 and go above that, then it goes back down to 0 and recounts itself again. So it gets really broken really fast. All right, we've got a lot of Recode stuff to go over, so I want to show you this footage real quick that I captured with my server host and some admins when we were testing out the master server, and then we're going to move from here. Obviously, all servers are being upgraded, and any lag experienced is obviously just a limitation of the game's hosting capability and not the actual server boxes. I also do not fault the developers at all in any way, shape, or form for how the game performed with 500 people on a server, because the game is meant for like 100 people on a server, and that's before the Recode. After the Recode, I don't know how many people will be intended to be on one server. It also features some very ancient code from a past developer that they had fired, so performance obviously is going to be questionable. All right, let's jump into us breaking the Isle, I guess, and then the Recode stuff. Okay.
Breaks at 320.
I'd say it's broken. I'm watching myself in the third person. Oh my god. Yeah, it must have... Okay, it might be past 320 players right now, and because of that, it's just completely... Oh god, okay, I can go back into my character. That's weird.
Yeah, that is super weird.
Can I use name tags? What happens if I use name tags? Oh god, I can't spectate anymore. I go into the third person. This would be amazing for cinematic stuff.
Yeah.
This is... Deathly, what did you do to the game? Oh my god. I'm gonna try teleporting to someone. That's what I'm gonna do. Tyrannical. Let's see now when that loads. So, I'm pretty sure there's more than 327 players on the server. But yeah, it's just not showing anything past 327 in the list.
Hema said she can't even get into the server. It kicks her out.
Jesus Christ. This is something. So then this is literally a limit of the game then. This is
yeah,
the server can hold the server can handle the absolute limit of the game itself, but it's obviously a laggy mess, so I'm assuming once you do your thing, possibly maybe it will do better. Oh. Well, there I go off into the distance.
Watching yourself.
I'm watching myself in the third person. Oh god. Oh, you have to run really far away and then you teleport in a spectator.
Oh, that makes sense.
Holy shit, there's so many names. Oh my god. This is nuts. That's so broken. That is so broken. Oh my god. I feel like normal Nicta servers would have crashed by now.
40. Oh my god, now it's going up.
Oh my god.
Oh, what the heck?
Oh my god.
Jeez.
350? What the... It's like it's catching up finally with how many people are in.
Yeah.
Maybe we just really broke it and it's making ghost players now. Holy shit, it's going so fast. Oh, the server can handle it for sure, but the game is another question.
The game has no idea what it's doing.
Wait, were they grown?
I grew those two Rexes.
I was gonna say, they fucking grew fast. What is this supposed to be?
Oh,
There's like
I'm
a
on my
black
way towards
section.
farm.
There's just no texture here. Is this
Going down towards...
a bug? Does this have texture for you, Suck It, or is this just like a black square?
Yeah, it's black for me. Black for them too. Wondering if it's still breaking because the admins don't count, so technically it is still overflowing. Because on the Steam browser, it says there's only 3 people in here. Yeah, it's however many, I don't know how many admins we have, but it shouldn't be enough to overflow it.
But I mean, it's handling really good right now, even at the cap. So obviously, the Isle was never intended to run with so many players, but thank you to everyone that was available at this time to test out the servers, because it was incredible, and the server held up far better than we initially anticipated. Anyways, I want to move into the Recode stuff now, because Recode! Obviously, the Troodon and the Kentro, which the Kentro was announced a long time ago, I believe. Then we have the new creatures as well that I cannot pronounce their names. Compi, Troodon, Deinosuchus, Oviraptor. I did not expect the Oviraptor to actually be something that would be playable and brought into the game, but it seems that everything except for the Compi is going to be playable. The Compi is currently pending, actually. So that's pretty cool. That's the entire list. Everything is out there now. We know all of the creatures. We know what's well, we know some of what's taken almost the better part of a year to get ready for us. Now we're moving into some concept art. This is the concept art of the Homolocephale. I can't say its name. Tapwing, you doing me a concern. This is the creature's name right here, basically. And Tapwing, just so you know, is an Isle developer as well. They do the official concept artwork, and you can see down right here the signature. In general, this thing kind of looks like a Packy, to be honest with you, but I don't know the size. I literally know nothing about this creature. I also want to make mention that Tapwing is also a very, very talented artist. They're probably one of my favorite artists on this side of the planet, to be honest with you. Obviously, it's going to be a herbivore to some degree. I don't think this is one of the Omnivores, but I could be wrong. Who knows? Because I know absolutely nothing about this creature. Okay, let's move on because I don't know anything about it. I know this one. This is the Oviraptor. So I think I'm saying that right. I'm probably going to trigger people. Oviraptor, Oviraptor, however you want to say it, because I know some people say it differently, like the Giganotosaurus and Giganotosaurus. This one is actually colored, and this is another concept created by Tapwing, showing basically a lot of detail about this creature. You can see the bottom of the feathers and then the top of the feathers. I don't know the markings males and females will have and what will be different about them, but in general, still going to be a really cool creature to bring in. And it's one thing to see it in artwork, but when you realize the talent and the people that are going to be making this thing to bring it into the game, you really get a good appreciation for it. And also, kind of makes me wonder if Dawn is going to be following through with their new feather system and what they wanted to do with feathers versus, you know, just having a texture here. I don't think it's just going to be a texture. I think they're actually going to bring in their feather stuff because, well, you want this thing to make a stance and pop and everything. And then you got the Therizinosaurus, obviously, which I would hope would get a rework and have its feathers updated as well. You know, speculating that they bring in this new feather stuff that they were talking about so long ago. This is the high pistol or whatever idol, and it's obviously a work in progress. And on top of that, this is through, okay, it's an MP4, so it's not going to have dropped frames, but this is the idol for it. Looks like a pretty cool creature. Not really sure what these long feathers are for or what they would have served for as a purpose, unless it's like a mating adaptation or something. But I mean, typically, you know, usually fancy flamboyant things are more or less a mating adaptation. It looks really good though. I just want to see it with the eyes and the actual lighting that Don's been working on as well. That's going to be really cool once it's in the game. I'm wondering if it's going to be able to burrow too, and how fast it'll be. Oh boy, Compy's going to have a fun time with you. Here is another concept created by Tapwing, the Magyarosaurus. I suck with pronunciation, don't judge me, but here's the name right here. And again, Tapwing's one of my favorite artists. So this looks like it's going to be a fairly large creature. Actually, it reminds me of the Chimera in many different ways, but also doesn't, because it has like this structure on the bottom and obviously different features. I want to know what you guys think though, down below in the comments section, obviously. And yeah, let's move on to the next concept. By the way, these are official. They're 100% official. These are from Isle developers. Not even going to attempt to say this guy's name. Basically looks like a small, slender, streamlined version of the Terror Turkey, the Therizinosaurus. Still looks really cool. Giant-ass claws, obviously, and I don't know how big this creature is going to be. For the you experts out there, you should leave comments down below because I do read the comments, believe it or not, and I would like to learn more about these creatures in particular, but from your stance. I could Google it, obviously, and get this super scientific stuff, but I like to see how people portray these creatures themselves, what you guys know about them, and if you guys even know about them, to be honest with you, because they're just such obscure, unheard of creatures. It looks pretty cool, though. It even has some teeth right here, some sharp pointed teeth. I wonder if this will be an omnivore, because it has super pointy teeth. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. Now we move into some of the juice, which is the Rex crouching. This is how I would assume the Rex is going to get its ambush meter up, and I don't like the Rex's current crouch. It looks awkward. It looks dumb. It doesn't look like it's stalking someone. It looks like it's really constipated and also trying to hunt. So I don't like the current Rex's crouch. Not to say that it's a bad animation or anything. I just feel that it doesn't suit the creature and the Rex in general. This, however, I feel does suit way better. I mean, its head is down, it's ready to, it's zoned in on something. And you know that if you're that something, it's going to be a bad time. I just don't know how it's going to impact the actual ambush itself and if the ambush will be changed in the animation and so on and so forth. But this is basically stalking. I don't see a Rex as ever trying to sneak. I see a Rex as just slowly stalking its prey. And obviously right here, we have the Spiny Boy, Spino. And it's doing its whole crouch thing too, except this is more of a stalk. I think at this point they should just rename it to stalking instead of crouching, because this technically isn't crouching. But anyways, obviously this is how it's going to get its ambush meter too, so it can ambush out and try to get someone real quick and do its stuff. I just it's so much better. It's so much better than the current crouch mechanic that we have right now. It's not even really crouching though to me. Like to me it's not really crouching. It's not. Now here is the Dino Morph from its, actually this was shown off on Grub, I think, when he was streaming. Call Me Grub is a popular streamer, actually, and they play the Isle a lot. Actually, you can find them on Life Finds a Way and Isla a lot. But anyways, they were actually showing this a while ago, and I think I actually showed this in a video too, but I didn't have the raw video to show you guys. You can see the eyes morph down a little bit, the body gets bigger, the limbs change a little bit, and it moves into its adult phase. Now, I just don't know if this is the final full size, because to my understanding, the Deinosuchus might, if it's still planned, be able to take on hypo creatures. You know, those super large monsters that you just don't want to see ever, because it means you're gonna die. I don't know if this is the absolute maximum size, but I do like that it has a growth phase, and you start out this little tiny adorable little nipper right here. The little stinker starts growing, and then he becomes a big stinker, and before you know it, you got Lake Placid on your hands. So, you know. Now, this is one, to me, that has the most apparent change. This is the Spino Morph, and obviously it's sped up greatly, but you can see just how the Spino morphs into its large adult counterpart that's menacing and muscle-bound and everything, and the sail obviously forms. You can actually see some slight hints of the adult in the baby itself, being the mouth area, and then everything just starts to develop over time, and your arms get bigger, the model itself starts to blow out here, you get a bigger fin. Obviously I don't see too much change in the tail except for little ridges that seem to appear and form, yeah, around the halfway mark. And then the teeth, obviously, and the head seems to go back a little bit to an adult phase. Nothing happens really with the neck that I can see. Let me just, because, yeah, actually the neck seems to get a little bit shorter, and you can see the wrinkles actually get a little bit more defined too, and its throat comes down a little bit more too, which is kind of cool. Baby, adult. Baby, adult. Baby, adult. I think the big killer factor here is the eye. The eye is just so big, and then it goes so small. That's the huge defining factor in my opinion. I'm like 90% sure I showed you guys this in one of my previous videos, but in my defense, there's so much new stuff coming out that I have to be sure. So some of the stuff might be duplicated a little bit. But this is the Spinosaurus running and its new run animation. I would assume this is a new animation. I can't see them recycling things. The only thing I don't like about this run is that super jiggly tit throat that it has. It needs a push-up bra for its throat, straight up. But otherwise, I mean, I'm sure it's realistic. I'm not trying to talk crap or anything, but that's just my thing. Like the Deinosuchus, when it runs, I think, or something, it throat like goes all over the place and stuff. I think at least, but besides my own little dumb gripes and stuff, I think it looks great. I think the run looks really fluid. It looks like it has a lot of weight with each step. It looks like it's really pushing off a lot of weight. I can't wait to see what happens in the future with it. Here is the current state of the Isle. In the current game, we have Utah, Dilo. Well, this is basically all of the creatures that are present currently in the Isle. And obviously the only AI are the Oro, Taco, Ava, Veloso, and various fish species, which we don't have fish right now in the Isle. At least I don't think we do. I'm pretty sure we don't. Planned soon after the Recode, the Troodon, Compi, Tanata, whatever. Basically, a bunch of these creatures are intended to be put in after the Recode is done. Distance. They also have distant reworks, which would be the Therizinosaurus, Herrera, which is confirmed, Ostroberry, and Kylosaurus, and Camarasaurus as well. I just want to make a note that this was a pinned message in the Isle official Discord. This isn't speculation because someone went out of their way to actually pin it. Maybe eventually Acro might get a remodel because Jake wants to remodel it. Albertosaurus, Don wants to remodel. Packy, low priority, old model for now. Shant would need a remodel and heavy rework. Old model, very large. Bracky, AI for now, and the Quets would need a rework. And then Scrap would be the Puerta, the Notabronto, basically, which was replaced by the Bracky that is AI. And that's pretty much the creatures right now. Here's a little picture of a Maya. I think this is the juvenile subadult Maya. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure this is it. This was posted by one of the developers. This is the concept of the Troodon, which I believe I had shown in a previous video as well. I'm not sure though, but concept artwork anyways to see. And then we move into some stuff the developers have been saying. The stuff we're planning will make everyone forget about that old and busted mode beginning with P, which is progression, I assume. Going deep on your own character is something I personally think would be far more rewarding than a treadmill of going from one dino to another. I would assume that's like DNA sequencing and so on and so forth. Actually, hang on. Let me show you something. I need to show you guys something real quick because I think this actually plays into something that's currently in the game that people forgot about. Come on, servers, pop up. Where are my servers? There they are. I'll go into the master server. So if I press insert, I actually bring up this menu here. And what I think they're hinting at is this stuff right here. We have tabs, but we can't do anything with them right now. And obviously the genetic code gets kind of obscure and broken right here. It doesn't serve a purpose, but I believe these are supposed to be trait windows where you would choose a trait and your dinosaur would get that trait. So for instance, a Rex with more bone break, a higher chance to break bones, more health, so on and so forth. And you get more and more mutated till, you know, chance to change into the Hyporex, for instance. And then Kissin moved in with, I personally would like to split egg stealing. By the way, I really agree 110% with what Kissin is saying here. I've already read this, but for smaller carnivores and omnivores, at least, taking the egg is one step, and then you eat it in step 2. So you can't just run to someone's nest, tap E, and eat all of their eggs on the spot. At least you have a chance as a parent to, you know, chase them down and retrieve your egg. It's an idea and it's not confirmed, but I absolutely love you, Kissin, for bringing that to the table, because that is, oh god, that would add such a sense of anxiety and intense, just emotional feeling, like, oh crap, they took my egg, you know, I better go get it. Not opposed to egg eating in general, maybe not relegated to the Oviraptor alone though. Despite its name and those theories, hide your egg from everyone, that's your best bet. Protoceratops will be playable, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if I saw that on the list, but the Minmai, whatever, is supposed to be playable. Initially, the AI roster was hype, basically these Compi, but Dondi decided to make them all playable. And that's pretty interesting. And then this right here, Protoceratops being playable, and Protoceratops again. So on and so forth. Anyways, friends, for now, that is it on the Isle, the Recode, and all of that stuff. That server test was that was something else. Some weird stuff happened during that. I had some more record footage of that, but I unfortunately left OBS running for like 12 plus hours, unfortunately, because I fell asleep. And it basically corrupted some of the footage that I had, but I did have a lot of footage. That said, obviously my game servers aren't going to be at 500 slot caps. The game was never intended for that. And there are whispers that the Recode is going to have a very, very low initial player count available on each server. So I may literally need to open like 40 or 50 servers for Isla Nicto alone. Like, I'm not even kidding. It could be rough. I don't know. I gotta wait and see what happens, because it's only whispers right now and people just speculating. But if we could push the limit, you know, we have the server capability to do it now, so I'm pretty happy about that. But that's it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts down below, as always, in the comment section, and I will see you in the next one.